Hey guys, Movie Junkie for Life here, and this is going to be my review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And of course, all hardcore Harry Potter fans know exactly what this movie is about, but let's break it down for those who've never seen a Potter film. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a story about Scalamander. Oh my god, I'm slaying the guy's name. Newt is the guy who wrote the book Fantastic Beasts. And the events of this movie happened 70 years before there was even Harry Potter. So this is way before Harry was even a blip on the radar. Not even his dad, right? So for this story, we're following Newt as he goes to New York and he is trying, well, I won't get into why exactly he's there, but he discovers the wizarding community there and how different they are from the ones that live in and reside in England, right? And of course, there is a conspiracy going on. There are people are dying, and the wizarding community is in danger. And there's the possibility of a war starting between the Nomads, which is what they call Muggles in New York or America, and the wizarding community. So I will be the first to say that I was not in any way excited for this film. I am a fan of Harry Potter, as you can see. I am a fan. And I love the Potter movies to varying degrees. But when I heard about this, I just felt like it might have been just a cash grab to, everybody's looking for the next big franchise. And let's face it, in recent times, there have been no franchise that has made the kind of impact that the Harry Potter franchise did. So I wasn't too excited. Not to mention, I'm not the hugest fan of Eddie Redmayne. All of that aside, I am so happy to say that I was proven wrong. Because, first of all, I think the fact that J.K. Rowling wrote the screenplay for Fantastic Beasts may have had a huge part to play in how well this movie turned out. The director, David Yates, also did Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. Now, he's not my favorite director from this series. That award goes to Alfonso Cuarón. But David Yates did a wonderful job with the Deathly Hallows. So he's back again. So I think the fact that we're dealing with people who are familiar with this universe, who has respect and love for this universe, is why Fantastic Beasts turned out as well as it did. I'll also say that surprisingly, you don't need to have seen any of the Harry Potter films to get into this one. This doesn't, yes, I mean, it's wizarding, it's wizards, it's magic, it's all that stuff. But it's very much its own story. Newt is his own hero. And he's very different from Harry, except for the fact that maybe what they have in common is their shyness. But he's very much his own type of hero. These characters all feel fresh and new because they're new to us. And while you may have some knowledge, if you're familiar with the Harry Potter universe, you will have knowledge of certain terms that are being used and of course certain characters because they tie in to the Potterverse. You don't have to have seen any of those. You don't have to have read the books for this story to make sense. I didn't have to make any comparisons to the Potter films. I could have enjoyed this for what it is, a new story. And that brings me to the acting, which again, Eddie Redmayne, he is not an actor. First of all, my exposure to Eddie was first in Jupiter Rising. So let's just say it wasn't a good first date. And because of that, I've been very reluctant to watch him in other things. I did see him in The Danish Girl. I like that performance a lot. But there's still that essence of he's not your typical actor. But you know what? It worked here because Newt Scamander is not your typical hero. He's very shy. He's not good with people. He feels more comfortable with his animals. But it doesn't mean he's not a good guy. And it doesn't mean he can't appreciate others. And that happens as he meets other characters. Like we have Queenie and her sister and Jacob, who I won't get into too much for those who haven't seen it. But I think these people are going to make a wonderful addition to this universe. We also have some darker characters here like Mr. Graves. Colin Farrell is in this movie as well. So I can't get into too much about them without spoiling a lot of secrets that this universe has and this movie has. Other than to say that I think everybody embodied their roles very well. I got what I needed to get from them. to varying degrees. But my favorite characters definitely are our main four characters, and Eddie Redmayne did a wonderful job, and I would not mind seeing him again as this sweet, shy, strong character. And like I said, I mean, the visuals are what feel the most, should I say, familiar. Because again, if you love this universe and you're exposed to the Harry Potter world, a lot of this feels familiar, but it also feels new. And it's what excites me about this film and about the possibility of the franchise, because I really didn't want, or should I say, didn't expect anything at all from this. I thought it was just going to be a lot of the same old, and it's not. This is a more adult story. It's a darker story, I think. It's a little more grounded. And for those who thought maybe that the Harry Potter stories were a bit childish, even though granted Harry did grow and we grew with him, this is a story that is as adult as it gets in the magic world. And it works to the benefit of newer audiences, and I think even older audiences, because we are now older, we've grown up, and therefore we want to see material about this world. We love this world. Maybe we want to share more in it, but you don't want to be right back where you started with a bunch of kids again. So it works. So all in all, guys, there wasn't much about this movie I did not like. I'm trying to rack my brain. I was trying to go back over it, and there really isn't much about this movie I didn't like. There was a lot of exposition. They tried to fit a lot of information in one film, and that's always a bit daunting sometimes as a viewer, trying to take all of this in and remember all of the new rules and the new players. But it's necessary for a first film, because you want to get it all in there. You want to establish this stuff so you can move on. So I didn't really have a lot of problem following it. I don't know if people who have never been part of Rowling's world would have difficulty with it. I don't think so. It's not a hard story to follow. It was, at no time was it confusing. So except for some of the magical terms, learning some of the newer terms and remembering some of those terms, I don't think anybody will have difficulty following this wonderful film. So I'm going to give Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them an 8 out of 10. I recommend seeing it on a big screen. I did not see it in 3D, but you know what? I didn't feel like I missed anything. I'm sure it's wonderful to check it out at IMAX, but the story is great. The acting is good. The story, The visuals are wonderful, familiar but new, and there's a lot of stuff to appreciate about this film. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and I can't wait to see what they do with the 4 other movies they have planned for this franchise. And that's gonna be it for it now, guys. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.